Hello, Vocal Techniques class. I'm here today to talk about learning your class song, Caro Mio Ben. You might ask why I chose an Italian song first, and it's mainly because Italian is the easiest language to sing, and it's not yet distorted by preconceived ways that we speak our own language. So it's good to have something that's completely different. To learn the tune, of course, the first thing you can do, and you all know how to do, is to solfege it. You should be able to solfege it, sight read it, get it in your inner ear. Then you should read the text aloud, the Italian text and then the translation. You want to know what you're singing about, of course. I provided the video with the pronunciation guide, and it takes time to be able to learn and speak another language. Here we're just trying to make the language sound authentic and allow the vowels to have time to sound. And that's the beauty of the Italian language. There are so many wonderful vowel sounds. Then you want to decide your breathing, your phrasing places, the same as you would in your instrument. And then mark those phrases. It might have to do with there's a comma in the text, or the musical phrase seems to be here, and there's time to take the breath. Try not to take a breath in the middle of a word, though. That destroys the vocal phrasing. Then it's a good idea to sing the text in rhythm on one pitch. Caro mio ben, credimi amen, something like that. So you're actually sustaining the breath and actually having to sing, but not worrying about the notes yet. Then once you've kind of got that in your voice and it feels right, practice the music with the text. Caro mio ben. Then you might take a breath. Credimi amen. And then you mark the phrasing as you go through that. As for your tone quality, we haven't been together so I can discuss and hear your tone individually, although now I know your tone from hearing you speak your poem and also from your initial vocal assessment. And next week we're going to try to meet in small ensembles of 4 or 5 of you together so that we can work on the song together. I can hear you sing it, and then we can work on you singing it back. For each phrase that you take in singing, take a deep centered breath. Your nostrils should feel like they're in your belly. Often I say nostrils in your belly. That is, you're breathing with a low sense of where that breath comes. Your midsection. Then there's an expansion. By the way, I'm sitting down, but you shouldn't sit down when you practice singing. It's always best to stand up because your body is part of your whole voice. It's part of your instrument. And so when you're sitting down, your posture is never as good as when you're standing up with a lifted posture, especially the upper torso, lifted. So you want to open your throat. And I often suggest that you feel like you're about to suppress a yawn. Notice when you do that, how the inside of your mouth feels like it's really wide, really wide. And as you do that, it'll feel different at first. But if you go, oh, I'm about to yawn, notice when you do that how your voice becomes more resonant. It does that because you've got more space, obviously, in your resonating cavities, your pharynx, your throat, even in the nasal area. So you want to be able to open your throat like that. The next important thing to think about when you're singing is that you want to relax your jaw. Your jaw needs to have a feeling of lowness, like this. I often recommend, and if we were in class, that you take your index fingers, put them between your teeth. Often when we speak, our jaw is more closed. When we sing, our jaw is more open. and especially between the molars, not just here, but here. Caro Mio Ben, Caro Mio Ben. We want to create more of that openness, so relax your jaw. Uh, Check your breathing again once you do that. Certainly, we all know how to breathe, but we don't usually breathe for singing, which requires much more breath because the air pressure has to come up to the level of the vocal folds, get them vibrating, and then your head resonates the sound. Check your posture all the time. Be sure you're not slumped over or even standing up, leaning. It has to be an up posture. If you watched the singers on YouTube, as you did, you saw that they were up. They had this open feeling, not a closed. When you sing, you're always open for business, not closed. You're always open. So watch your posture. Then you want to project your voice. You want to project your voice beyond the room. That is to say, depends on where you're practicing, but even if you were in a small practice room, you want to project outward as if you were speaking dramatically to someone and projecting your voice out, using the resonance that you have in your throat and in your head. And of course, it requires more breath. Caro mio ben. So I'm projecting it outward, not just holding it. Caro mio ben. Singing is not a private affair. It's public, open. Let it out. Then it's good to listen to other singers singing. And if we were in class, you'd hear each one of the class members sing the song. But since we don't have class together, I recommend YouTube. Listen to Caro Mio Ben on YouTube or on other audio samples. But I think it's always good to listen to and watch a good singer because it helps you empathize with how a singer reacts and how a singer uses their body. So next week we'll try to be in small groups and practice your song. So you have to know your song. Really work on your song this week. And finally, enjoy the process. See you soon.